Hello, I'm Gelly Asafsky, child and family therapist and founder of Parenting with Gelly. This video is in response to the Meron Stampede tonight. What a terrible disaster. Gezerah min hashamayim. There's no other way to put it. I am doing this video late at night because parents are reaching out to me and asking, what do we do to help our kids? Our kids who were there at the disaster, at the site. They saw what was going on. They saw the body bags. They saw the police cars, the chaos, the helicopters. Hashem Yishmar. It's really, really overwhelming for us as adults. And we have a lot more to fall back on than a child, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a child, an innocent child who went to Meron to do something beautiful for Lag BaOmer. What do we say to them? Okay, so this video is not a substitute for therapy. However, there are a couple of pieces that I can share with you parents. Excuse my voice, I'm just recovering from a bad cold. That can help you as a parent, as a mother, as a father, know what to do with your child. Now, it is normal for a child to act in any which way, meaning they can start getting aggressive, acting out, screaming, yelling, and they can go to the opposite side, when crawl under the covers and refuse to talk and shut down completely. They can start stuffing their face, they can run out of the house, they can get impulsive, they can act out. Anything is within the realm of normal when it comes to trauma. And what we know from studies are that it could take up to 2 weeks for the brain to start processing trauma. And like I say to adults, and I say this to kids, trauma is like a stomach ache. It's a bad stomach ache. You know, at the end of the Seder, when you've had 4 cups of grape juice and how many pounds of matzah and shulchan aruch, your stomach is a little heavy. It could start hurting for some of us anyway. And then it takes time for the stomach to settle. All that food to go in and through, and kids can relate to a stomach ache. Trauma like this is like a stomach ache in the head. It takes time to sort out the different layers, and sometimes it's so confusing. So rule number 1 for parents, do not ignore your children when they run away, when they go to the room, when they say, don't talk to me, don't, just leave me alone. Sit at the side of their bed, especially for those in Eretz Yisrael right now. Please, I know you're going into Shabbos, follow these things, literally 3 or 4 tips to help your kids start feeling a little calmer, okay? So number 1, sit down with your child, whether you're sitting on the couch, whether they're in the bed, and just be there, even if they don't want to talk. Don't leave them alone, number 1, especially if they were at the scene of the stampede and they saw this chaos, okay? Number 2, what would be really, really helpful is if they have no words, then you give them the words. I want you to massage them back and forth on their backs, if they'll let. If not, massage gently up and down the arms. If they don't let that, tap up and down and up and down. The research suggests that bilateral tapping helps the brain. When you think of the trauma along with this bilateral movement, it helps the brain process trauma, okay? So for a little kid, it can be back and forth, and just say, you were with Tati, you were with Mommy at the Hadlaka, and everything was so nice, and the Rebbe was singing, and the crowd was singing, and all of a sudden there was a crash and a bang. I don't know the exact details. I went online when I heard, and I saw the pictures. I forced myself to look, because I was getting these DMs to try and figure out, like, what actually happened. I watched the video, I read the news, and I just felt teary-eyed, like, Rabbeinu Shalom, how is this happening, right? So, and then I was mechazek myself with Emunah. I'm the grandchild of Holocaust survivors, and I said, if my Bobby and Zaidi went through Auschwitz and the work camps, and they survived, and they built a family, I know we'll get through it. I know everyone will get through it. We are going to take our deep Emunah, and we are going to look to our history and see how to strengthen it ourselves to get through this, okay? That's number one. But for our children, we want to tell them the story to help organize it for them in their brains with the bilateral movements. Number two, what I shared before, my own resource, my grandmother, she resting in Eden, okay? She overcame so much. She left a beautiful family. I look to her as a resource, as a guide, and our children need a resource. So for your child, it may be a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, somebody who overcame a terrible disease and came out stronger, a classmate who broke their foot and went through rehab. I'm just, giving scenarios. It could be someone from the Torah, okay? It could be David HaMelech. He went through a very difficult life. He wrote Tehillim. He gave us inspiration. Thousands of years later, we're still saying Tehillim. It could be Esther Malka for a girl. It could be any our avos, our imais, anyone, the nisyanis that we overcame. This is what defines us as Yidden, and we need to hold on to something during these times, okay? So give that gift to your child and ask them what could be a resource. Now, a resource could also be something in nature, like a tree. A tree has deep, deep, deep roots, all the way down to a water source under the earth, and it stands tall and strong even when hurricanes and tornadoes and rain and the hard sun bears down on it, right? So too, we could be strong, really strong, and we could feel our roots deep, deep in the earth, okay? So that's the resourcing. Number three, we want to talk about safe place. Safe place means that when the brain is going chaotic, we want to anchor ourselves with safety. Safety is a child has a bed to go home to sleep at night. I hope so. Hopefully, every child should have a bed to go home to sleep with. Parents, the house gets quiet, everyone goes to sleep, we lock the door, we kiss the mezuzah for shmira. We want to give them the feeling of shmira, okay? Someone's watching over us. Hashem is watching over us. That's very, very important, okay? And then what else do we want to give them? For some children, it's just that feeling on the couch, sitting and reading their favorite book. For some, it's a photo of a family vacation. For some, it's visits with extended family. Anything that can anchor them, a good rebbe or a teacher, right? Anything that could anchor them and help them feel safe, a feeling of calm when they go to that, so that even if they're struggling in their heads, they have the ability to go back to a safe place and a resource. Then their brains go back to the trauma, and then we can pull them back, okay? So those are the things we want to give our children, okay? And as parents, you can hold that for them. So when they're feeling overwhelmed, you can try to help them find resources. You can try to help them find safety, and you can try to pull the emunah and think, well, what do we want to believe about tomorrow? Even if we don't feel that way right now, do we want to believe that tomorrow I will be safe? Tomorrow I will be okay. Tomorrow I will get over this. Hashem will help keep us safe, right? So we can give them things to believe in, to hold on to. That's what we need to do for our kids. And I want to encourage you, look at your kid, watch your kid, and especially if they have a history of any trauma, any depression or anxiety, any issue whatsoever, watch them very closely. A trauma like this can reactivate old stuff, even if it feels settled for now, okay? You can reach out to me on my DM. I'm at Parenting with Gelly. I'm here to support you. This is a really, really challenging time, and all of us need to stand together and support each other. And as Klal Yisrael, we will get through this together with Hashem's help. Here's to a good Shabbos, and hopefully Besuras Taivas. Take care.